Hi, so I thought I'd have a wee look in the Festool OSC18. I'll try and make these a wee bit quicker this time, so let's have a wee look inside this and see. Now I believe it's actually made by Fine, same as their Multimaster, and it is one of the last made in Germany tools. A lot of the Festool theme, a lot of Festool drills now, and some of their other tools seem to no longer be made in Germany, which is a bit of a shame. So we take this. This is a this is a secondary adapter that it goes on to. It allows you to put on different fixings. So that was a T25, and this is a T15, I believe. So there's quite a few fixings here. Sit down and have a look inside. Interesting. Okay. So this has been quite heavily used for cutting wood and metal, and we would expect there to be airflow through it because there's a vent here and there's venting here, so there's a motor there which will allow air to travel through past the motor and evacuate. So let's see what we have. So here's the switch. I'm just looking at the arrangement of this, and it is very similar. Very similar to the Multimaster. Is there any markings on this to see who makes this? PA6 glass fiber 30 with SABS, which is a styrene butyl overmolding. And you can see they've actually put a step on the side of it. Just looking at the tooling mark, it's interesting. If you look very closely, you can see the reflectance of the tooling mark from the metal negative that was used to make this, and you can see where the softer material is set back in there. Quite a small amount of it actually, but quite a bit thicker now that if you compare with some of the other tools. So let's see, I wonder will this all just come out as one piece. So PA6 glass fiber 30 again, and again that's just set in there. I'll have to be careful of just make sure that I can put all this together again, just to see exactly what that. Okay, so that's all that does. So you have this sliding switch, and all that does is slides up and down here, and it just pushes this momentary switch on and off. So that's a very simple thing, isn't it? You wonder why they make the push button so big when it's actually activating such a small switch underneath. But there is it looks like a covering, a bounet and a covering on it, which is quite good. So you can see the amount of dirt that's here that's not there. Now, what is the actual wire? You can see this is obviously the power wire, which is quite a bit thicker than the rest of it, traveling into a separate part with a huge heatsink on it and fully potted with, that's interesting, exposed capacitors. And what make of those? Rubicon. That's good. It's a good brand make of capacitor. And this is probably magnesium, actually. You can tell by the grain structure. It looks similar to galvanized steel more than aluminium. That's an interesting part. Some of these parts actually in some of the other Festools are copper, so it's interesting to see. Well, it's good to at least see a metal heatsink anyway, which is good. So let's take the rest of this out. And then the other part. Again, some impressive mold making. So this has the same, yes, this has the same part as the fine, where this is a vibrating, so this is the motor, and then this is the gear, and it has these very soft durometer, probably a 20 or 30. It might actually be an open cell foam rather than a rubber, and there's just a wee depression made there for it, which is an interesting way of doing it. So I'm wondering, can we take these screws out and see if we can get a little further into the motor? Now, what are they? Are these going to be another T15? They are. So we'll just take these one at a time. You can see the part. And the power lead's going into this. I'm not sure how far we'll be able to get into this, but just do these one at a time, just to loosen this off. You have to make sure that this is open as well, because when you close this, it does preload this clip. And if we can take that apart again, we'll have a look at that as well, just to see how that works. So it would be interesting to see, are there any actually markings from fine in this, because as if you know about these machines, they were originally invented by Fine, and I think Festool have been asked to make one for quite a few, excuse me, I've been asked to make one for quite a few years, especially within their battery platform. Same as any tool, it's as you'll see in some of the future videos, it's quite difficult to buy a set of tools and to not, or to change between battery manufacturers. So we're nearly there with this. Now these are different fasteners. I wonder, is there any markings on these fasteners of who makes these? I believe Festool possibly use EJOT, which is a German manufacturer of screws. So let's see if we can take this off. Oh, we can, yes. So we can feel the magnet and the not wanting us to take it apart. was a powerful magnet. So let's have a look at this first of all. So this is one of their AC motors. There's quite a bit of dust buildup in there. I wonder, should I clean that out beforehand? And the copper does look like it's been coated in something. It's not a normal copper. It's quite red. I don't know how further we can get into this. You can see actually in behind this, so this is a very stiff plastic housing, but there does appear to be, well, you can see the metal. I don't know how we can get further into this. I assume this is, there is a keyway here, so those are firm. Something fell out of that, which I'll have to find. No, just a little spring washer. And then the actual motor housing. So it's not a 625Z bearing, and then it's been balanced here on a separate copper ring, and that's a strange. So we can see how much it takes. We take the lettering there. So there's 1. So it's actually a 1-to-1 ratio. You can see this marking. It rotates 1. So there's no actual gear reduction in this. All this is transferring the rotational movement in one direction to the other. But of course, balancing it left and right, it's not a continuous rotation. Of course, this is rotating and this is oscillating. So it would be interesting to see what makes that happen. So this is a continuous casting, and this is where AV also got stuck in trying to find a way of removing this, and there is absolutely no obvious way at all. I'm wondering, is it something to do with this part? It is very accurately balanced. Now, he did assume that you came in this way, but again, there's nothing. That seems to be a pin of some sort. And this gasket was removed. The screw was removed by others, and again, that didn't let us in. So I wonder, there's an opening on two sides, so one side must give way to the other, and one must be holding the other in. And with no exposed fixings whatsoever. I will need to have another look and see how we can possibly get in there. So I might do this just off camera, but you can actually see how well this has been, it has been faced, which is interesting because you're only mating onto plastic, but still it has been faced anyway. Okay, listen, let me come back when I find out how to dismantle this. Okay, short video.